My people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Patala FC. We are within.
I'ma do my stuff.
Today, we put the spotlight on our manager. You could call him a young manager, Enzo Maresca. Or as I call him, Don Maresca. As Chelsea fans, in my opinion, I really believe we have a strong love hate relationship with Enzo Maresca. And I feel the main reason is because Maresca is learning on the job and he fluctuates in terms of his ability. When Enzo Maresca gets it right tactically, he's a genius. It looks so good. The players will be gelling in a way that you can't even understand. It's just in sync. When he fails tactically, when he's beaten, we immediately become skeptical as to whether he even deserves the Chelsea job. So that's heavy fluctuation from us as fans, understandably. But for Maresca, we have to always consider this is a manager learning on the job. Second season, Maresca. This will be the first time, I believe, he will manage the same club in back to back seasons. He did well with Leicester. He had his headaches in between, just as he had at Chelsea in his first season. But he didn't get a second season at Leicester. He will get a second season at Chelsea. And I'd like to highlight why I feel Maresca might surprise us all in a positive way, in the best way. Because tactically, you can imagine, he arrives, he's a young manager, he's learning on the job. So he has to master the players he has. He has to understand what his players prefer to do and not do on the pitch, regardless of quality. Outside of ability and class on the ball, mainstays like Cole Palmer. In the back line, you could say Levi Colwill. Who are the best players and what makes them shine in Maresca's system? And how can Maresca tweak his system to best suit our players? And what I've noticed in the Club World Cup, including the game against Flamengo, where we were beaten, it was embarrassing, especially on social media. We were trying something new. Maresca is trying something new. And I'd like to actually say we got fond of the 3-3-2-5 of sorts, 5 men in the front line, one inverted fullback, and the back three. That was mainly Maresca's system in his first season. But going into next season, it looks like we might actually play a 4-2-2-2. A 4-2-2-2 that actually changes rapidly through and through. Of course, a back four, the mainstay back four, with everyone operating at the peak of their powers, to be honest. Kugrela's doing well. Colwill, unplayable on his day at the moment. Tosin, towering Tosin. Need we say more? Reece James, he stayed fit for the longest time that we can remember as Chelsea fans, and he's doing well. And then there's a pivot of Moise Caicedo, who is definitely a mainstay, and the player that I believe Enzo Maresca has tweaked the system to accommodate, and that's Romeo Lavia. We can't play our best game without the calmness, the simplicity that Lavia brings to our game. I believe we can't. So Romeo Lavia next to Moise Caicedo, allowing Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez to be two central attacking midfielders in front of them. Cole Palmer also having the free roaming ability, similar to the abilities that we saw under Pochettino, but I believe Maresca needed the first season to understand just what Cole Palmer can provide in a free roaming sense. Hence, in the Club World Cup so far, Palmer's played on the right wing, drifting into the midfield against LAFC, for example. Against Flamengo, he was more in the center. In the game against Benfica, he was more on the left side. And he would drift into the midfield, supply crosses with his left foot into the box, look for passes beyond Benfica's defense. Benfica were playing a low block, and if anything, we should discuss the low blocks because that's where Chelsea had headaches in Maresca's previous system. With the isolated wingers who had to go at their players, if Sancho and Neto didn't manage to dribble past the player and create a chance, they would simply pass back and the attack would break down. Or Chelsea would just cross the ball. And most teams became comfortable, like, yeah, let Chelsea cross. It doesn't really matter. They're not going to threaten us. So Chelsea now, with a 4-2-2-2, that changes so many times. Enzo can stay in the center as a number 10 of sorts, as Cole Palmer drifts, whether left or right, and Pedro Neto becomes a second striker in that system. Neto still operates on the right side. I believe Maresca has also told Neto, you won't really be playing on the left side. I believe we'll see a lot more of right winger Pedro Neto, who's really shining at the moment, to be honest. But he will also play as a second striker because Liam Delap's presence, the physicality he brings to the team. Oh, need we say more? Liam Delap will be physical. He will expect us to cross into the box in the right moments, but he'll also make the right movement, almost like the second player that will free roam alongside Cole Palmer. So the 4-2-2-2 can become a 4-2-3-1, can also become a 3-4-3 in moments. So Maresca understanding the capabilities of our players and allowing them to bring out those things and confuse the opposition, if anything. Who starts the press? Delap or Jackson, whoever it may be. But for the lineup, as you guys have seen, I'm going with what I feel is our strongest lineup at the moment going into next season. So yeah, guys, Maresca is about to cook. I really believe so. And this system of 4-2-2-2 could be the answer. Christopher Nkunku might even thrive if he stays. Because finally, there might be a role in those two cam roles where Palmer and Enzo will be placed in which Nkunku can thrive in the system. Last season, it couldn't work. Hence, we tried him on the left wing, striker role, cam role. Nkunku was all over the place, but now he might have a mainstay position in this new, refined Maresca system. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I believe this could work. I'm happy about this. As we said, Maresca is learning on the job. He's a young manager in managerial years. You know what I mean? So let's give him that grace, that patience. It's his second season for the first time at the same club. And we'll be expecting great things. We're in the Champions League. You know, we're doing well enough in the Club World Cup. He's making a statement. The game against Benfica, you guys have to. You guys have to consider that. Also, before I let y'all go, consider Kieran Dewsbury Hall, guys. He could actually thrive as well. Dewsbury Hall being a pressing tiger of sorts in the system, drifting onto the right side. We don't understand why Maresca prefers him as a right wing, but he won't be an out and out right wing should we implement this system. And I believe this could work. But yeah, guys, shout out for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. We have to break down the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup where Chelsea are. I saw BVB versus Real Madrid. Also saw that Joe Bellingham got a suspension, so we won't see Bellingham versus Bellingham. That's unfortunate. Fluminense, Fluminense and Al Hilal knocked out Inter and Man City respectively. Whew, what a statement. You get me? What's the last one? If anything, the biggest one. PSG versus Bayern Munich. Hard to predict. I think you'd lean towards a PSG though, because those guys are playing some serious football under Luis Enrique. But yeah, guys, blessings, y'all, on a Wednesday afternoon. I enjoyed this. Be sure to join the fam if you're yet to do so. Blessings, y'all.